Hi everyone, and welcome back to Muse. I'm very excited to have a new guest. As always, we always have new guests, but today's from a band called the Not Okays, and we have the lead singer Lauren. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you going?
Yeah, pretty good. We've got to remember that we're now recording now, so we can still be okay. We don't have to put on the, acting like yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been an interesting week actually. I said goodbye to my husband on Friday. It is currently Tuesday when we're recording this. He's popped over to Seattle in Canada to see his family, and so I'm flying solo for the first time in like 3 years and figuring out how to entertain myself again. It's bloody weird, honestly.
And so, how long has he
Yeah.
gone for?
He's gone for a month, and we're going to meet up again just prior to his birthday in Sydney, which would be
Oh,
really nice.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And for those watching in the future, we're just coming out of a pandemic, and we've had home isolation rules throughout the whole time. So typically, someone would have had to have come home and stayed isolated for 10 days. That's all gone now, eh? Is that right?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. God, I can't even remember. I've just been so like traumatized in the lead up of having to say goodbye to my favorite human. Oh,
Oh,
he's
that's nice.
I'm a suck. I just bloody love him.
So tell us about your band, the Not Okays, because if I'm not mistaken, that's a reference to a song from My
Come on,
Chemical
you've got this. There
Romance. I
we
got it.
go.
Yeah. I always want to say the Black Parade because it's the album that my kids at school always like. That's their favorite album. So I'm always like, it's the Black. No, it's My Chemical Romance. Tell us about your
So
band.
yeah, sure. So we are the Not Okays. We originally started as just a covers band for Ding Dong Lounge's emo nights, and it just yeah, we kept kind of headlining them, and it was a lot of fun. And it got to the point where I just loved making music so much with my husband and my friends, and that kind of coincided with a really pivotal point on my mental health journey where finally I had the courage to back myself and go, hey, listen, like you have these skills, let's just go for it. And yeah, I'm so excited with what we've produced already. I know it's super early days for us, but I'm so ready to throw my everything in it, and so is everyone else. It's great.
No, it's awesome. And I've watched the video for
Oh,
Better
thank you.
Days, and it's even just the one that you did of the Bite Me, the Avril Lavigne cover.
Yeah.
Great production, great sound. It's
Oh, thank you
fantastic.
so much.
No problem. When did you notice that you liked performing and singing? Like, what age were you when you kind of knew that that's something that you were really interested and passionate about?
Honestly, like since a wee tot, I've been putting on performances of Britney Spears' Lucky to my parents in the living room and anyone that they had over. Like, I've always been pretty okay with being the center of attention. And then my parents both encouraged me to get into music quite a lot in high school. And so I did choir and a lot of musical theatre, 20 plus live stage productions. I was
Wowzers.
yeah, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz and Snow White, which obviously makes sense because I'm so pale. I basically bloody glow in the dark. Um, yeah, so I guess it's always been a passion of mine. And I lost my way for a little bit when I kind of reached adulthood because I had to choose between going to NASDA, if you're familiar with NASDA,
Not
National
familiar.
Academy National Academy of Singing and Dramatic Arts. It's at ARA down in Christchurch. It's pretty competitive to get in, but equally at the same time, I got into broadcasting school and thought, well, there's an internship at the end of that. So, hey, let's try give this TV thing a go. And yeah, it's kind of just consumed my time for years. And now I'm kind of getting the chance to yeah give it my all again and rediscover this huge passion that I have for it that I think a lot of people didn't realize was there.
Mm.
Like my husband definitely realized it was there, and he's been trying for years to get us to do something like this together. So it's just yeah, it's just a dream come true, honestly.
That's pretty cool. And like a lot of bands start from playing in covers bands to begin with, right? So you've come along with this experience of doing theatre production, and if you're doing the style of music that would you say you'd say would fit into the genre of emo, right?
Oh hell yeah! Look at
Yeah.
the fringe. Of course, I'm an emo.
So if we talk about that, you think about the theatrics that are related to that, just any, the last videos that I was watching before from My Chemical Romance, it's very theatrical, but that's part and parcel of that style. So that you
Yeah.
bring a lot of that from what I've seen already.
Yeah, for sure. And you kind of have to. I remember when I was sort of learning to sing and start to think about what my voice was rather than the voice that I was trying to copy. That was really interesting for me to figure out how to create my own unique tone. And I think I'm starting to sort of get that sort of grungy angriness that I've always been wanting to get into there. So that's been a real learning for me as well.
Doesn't it feel good though when you're like singing, even like in your car, just songs that you love, or even ones that you've written, and then once you become passionate and you feel it, it's such a great feeling, right?
Oh, yeah. It's just so good. It's so good. I've always been singing in my car for as long as I can bloody remember. The first
Yeah.
night that I took my husband home from the bar, I was singing to him in bed. Like, it's just, yeah.
I learned my chops when I used to be a pizza delivery guy singing to Incubus albums. That was my jam when back in 2000
Hell
and
yeah.
2000, 2001. And I would just be like hammering that away and just, I'm a big Brandon Boyd fan. So,
Animale is like one of my favorite songs.
yes.
I
Oh,
love, love, love Animale. Oh, it's so good.
it is great. And that's from Light Grenades. That's, like a band
Mm.
like Incubus that kind of, like I grew up listening to Make Yourself, and then I found their
Because everyone knows
newest.
Drive.
Everyone knows
Everyone
Drive.
knows Drive.
Yeah. And then eventually, like if you actually pay attention, their albums get better and better. And that's kind of like what the emo stuff was doing. Like, Black Parade is such an incredible album. It's
Fun,
huge.
really fun fact about that actually. My dear father, who I love to absolute bits, 6 foot something, tradie, basic Christchurch dude, he got his first tattoo a couple of years ago at the age of, I think it was 61 or 62, and it's a big like half
Wow.
sleeve of a Welcome to the Black Parade tattoo.
Oh,
It's his
nice.
favorite song. He's obsessed. He sings it karaoke every chance he gets, and yeah, so you're never too old to become an emo. Clive
No.
Went shows that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. I love it. I love the scene. I love the look. I just love the music, the passion. There's something about the vocals. So that's one of the things when I first saw your song or your cover. So we'll just start with that first. Is just the amount of passion and angst that was real and honest that came through. And right at the end, as you're walking away from the mic, you can tell it was like done live because you make this funny little noise and whatever you said comment. I thought it was funny. There was a moment where this is the guitarist or the bassist gives the finger to the guitarist.
The
Yeah,
guitarist gives the bassist the finger, aka pulls the bird to his girlfriend. So risky move right there, but hey, Prick is a smooth unit. He can get away with whatever.
So Avril Lavigne, big fan, big inspiration to you?
Yeah, yeah. I think anyone my age who saw Avril and Complicated with her
Yeah, right.
little necktie and her big sort of baggy cargo pants, like she's always been an icon. I mean, admittedly, I didn't really love her girlfriend phase.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll
yeah,
go
and
with that.
I think that's kind of everyone's vibe. But she was the original pop punk princess, and she still is. The second that I mean, Travis Barker used her comeback to announce the start of his label with Bite Me. And
Yeah.
it was at that moment where it's like, this is the time emo's coming back, and we've got to move, and we've got to move quick. Let's cover this. Let's just do something. And
It's
that's kind of where it all kicked off.
It's good you bring that up because as I was watching that some of her, there was a new video, I can't remember the name of it, that I just watched recently that came out not that long ago. She's in like
Mm.
prison cell or something like that, getting in trouble. Um,
Mm.
But it was like, I thought at the moment, do you reckon that emo rock or rock is really going to come back? Because it's always there. But if you think about the mainstream, it doesn't really, it's not, it's kind of like rock is humble. Like, it's like, we're
Yeah.
over here doing our thing. Do you reckon it will become big and go on like ZM and stuff again and The
Gosh,
Edge?
and that's a great point, because there was 100% a time where emo was played so mainstream. Like, you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing Misery Business, or gosh, Beating Heart Baby by Head Automatica, or Dance Dance by Fall Out Boy. Panic at the Disco was played
Yeah.
just everywhere. Like, oh, I can only dream that we get that emo revival again. One can dream.
So you're part of that scene here in New Zealand, right? So you got a new song, and tell us about the song, where it came from, and what it's about. Tell us about the journey, about how you got to that song, and just talk to us about it. It'd be cool to hear your story.
Yeah. So I suppose it's an interesting one for me, because I suppose a lot of people know me in the scene as the wife of an incredible guitarist. Bahador Borhani is my lovely husband. He was originally in Shotgun Alley, and they had a lot of success and toured. And I heard pretty frequently about some of the big name artists that he opened up for, and people who know his name. And so it was just insane to me that I was dating this rock star who at home is the biggest dork you'll ever see. Like, we're so obsessed with our cats. Oh God. Anyway, I digress. And then he's now obviously in Written by Wolves and is doing incredible things with them. So I've been very fortunate to be backstage and make a lot of really great friends with the best in New Zealand rock. Like, I love the Devil Skin guys. I love the Blind Spot guys. I love the Alien Weaponry boys. Like, there's something so beautiful about the rock community where everyone's just a giant munter, but the nicest munter you'll ever meet.
I'm gonna jump in because like it had been a long time since I'd played live with anybody, and when I went to the Ding Dong Lounge, there's such
Yes, my boy, come
yeah
through.
yeah there's a camaraderie. Our band played on stage. We just couldn't believe how awesome everybody is to everybody. Everyone's cool.
Yeah,
It's chill.
it's the spirit of Ding. And actually, on Ding, we need more people to please come to Ding. The owner of Ding sold his
Agreed.
house to keep it open. Like,
No way.
to keep the scene alive, we need
Yeah.
people to support the scene. So please come.
There you go. Free
Ding Dong
promotion for
Lounge.
you. It's 100% worth it. Ding Dong Lounge.
It's so good. Yeah. So I've kind of been in that scene. And then I personally went through a pretty rough time. A pretty rough mental health journey that ultimately I now know was through years of being misdiagnosed with pretty intense ADHD. And I had to really advocate for myself and went through different diagnoses of depression and anxiety and blah, 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 blah. And years later, I finally was able to advocate for myself, and I'm properly medicated for the first time in my life. And it's like a fire has been lit under me, and that awful critical voice that was in the back of my head is just, it's pushed aside, because this is something I've always wanted to do. I think it's been a lot of people's dreams to be able to do something like this. And so we were in a position where we had the Not Okays, and I don't know if you know the members. We're all really close friends, and it's quite like sort of a tight-knit thing. Caitlin, the bassist, I went to high school with her, and we were in we tried to start bands in high school and it didn't quite work, and we were listening to Paramore's Riot on CD on
man, that's
road
a good
trips,
album.
and it's so good. Every song bangs. It's amazing. And Aaron, her boyfriend, is the guitarist for Mitch James and Kaylee Bell, and he is just, oh my gosh, Kmart Jason Momoa is the man. He's so incredible. He does all of the producing and the recording for us so far. That's all him. And so we had him, who had recently come into the Not Okays when we were this covers band. And then of course Averil's Bite Me came out, and we're like, man, this is our time. And so that happened. And then we're sitting there going, okay, cool, what's next? Now we have to figure out, because the other interesting thing about the Not Okays is that the three boys, Noz, B, and Aaron, are all in a side project called Mirror. So they've already written and released a few incredible songs by themselves. And Aaron was the front person for that. And that was his sort of first time in sort of that front person seat as well. And he's, I think everyone's just so in awe of how talented that dude is. So Better Days is actually written by him.
Wow.
And it's about a really crap time. Crap is just an understatement. A time in his life where I can imagine he felt like the world was against him. He had just lost his father.
Oh, no.
And also marked the end of what I understand to be a long-term relationship. So he was just, found himself so lonely for the first time in his life. And he said that this song had been in his notes section for years and finally found its rightful place with the Not Okays. Because I lived with Aaron, B and I and Caitlin, the four of us lived together during the pandemic. And so they kind of saw the low lows of my mental health journey. And so I'm so bloody proud of him for letting us use the song and support him and like have a man be able to speak about his mental health as well, because that's quite brave, unfortunately, in these days. So
totally.
And I think that's all that we want to do, is just have open conversations. And we did question about whether we wanted to change the band name from the Not Okays, because obviously that's what we were doing in the covers realm. But it just feels so right, particularly to pay tribute to the artist who got it so right before. I mean, Mike Hem are the daddies of emo, mate. They're the legends. They're the OGs. So that's kind of where Better Days came from. And actually, fun fact about that video, I'm the person who produced and edited that one. Finally managed to put my broadcasting school degree to good use, while my husband Bahador was editing the next Written by Wolves video, which it's wow. Honestly, he is just this crazy bloody genius with what he manages to pull out. And I'm sitting here looking at the 100,000 subscriber plaque that they have just up there, and we're in a studio right now.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah,
the dig old Bix is not my my particular aesthetic, but hey, that's fine. So he was editing the next Wolves video, and I was down the other end of the house editing the Not Okays video, and it was just a couple of emos in love working hard. So it's it's been like, again, like just a dream come true, honestly.
Yeah, we're like, I was thinking about this the other day. We're in such a lucky position in some sense that, before Spotify and before digital distribution, it was really like, you had to kind of be signed to get your music heard and out there. Like I grew up in that time where, A&R was signing. So once My Chemical Romance became, famous, they were signing every emo band they could possibly find. And then, same thing with new metal, et cetera, et cetera. And nowadays there's people that are writing incredible music like your band, and they're not signed, and they're just out there promoting it, and yet it sounds so professional and so great, and it's going to reach people that like that style that may never have heard of you if that old system existed. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
But there's a lot of work involved in it. You've got to promote it. You got to get out there and play. But from what I've seen so far, like the moment I saw that first cover video, I was like, oh my gosh, this is pro ass. It sounds so good.
So
Oh, you're most welcome. Absolutely, it's all good.
No, that's so sweet. It's it's just crazy to be producing something that I'm so proud of, honestly. It's crazy. It's just insane.
Yo. And just quickly then, in regards to your mental health, I've also suffered from stuff. I'm a big mental health advocate as well. I believe in just being able to talk about it, getting rid of that voice that's always nagging at you sometimes. I think it's really, really great that you're an advocate for it as well. As you move forward with your music, do you see yourself bringing that stuff into your music, talking about it a lot? And as you've said with this song, it's been spoken about, but your own journey and your own experiences, looking forward to it.
We have like just a whole folder full of lyrics ready to
Awesome.
go. We're in full writing mode at the moment, and by God, have I been through some things in the past few years. So I've got ammo, my friend. Don't you worry.
When will the next release be? When will we hear some new music, some more music? I mean, there's new music, but more music.
Yeah, good question. We're due to start putting some more vocals down very soon, actually. We've a bit delayed in our ideal timeline because COVID and various members of the band being confined to their homes. So yeah, we watch the space. I'd say in the next month or two, we're going to have something new to show you guys that we're real proud of again.
Awesome. And just actually, I want to ask this because I've got some time. When you're writing melodies and you're writing vocals, where does that come from for you? So this is something I always talk to my students at school about. There always an awe at some of the the melody lines written by other artists, but where does your melody, where does that come from? How can you explain that process?
Yeah, and I suppose that's something that stopped me from creating my own things previously, as I felt like it was easy and it's meant to sort of come naturally. But I'll be listening to so many different songs and artists and male and female artists, and sort of take inspiration from some of the things that I like that they're doing. And then when Aaron or when B comes with a track, then it's about sort of experimenting and figuring out together what doesn't sound cliche, and then adding the lyrics on top of that, tweaking the lyrics to change the timing, or it's all a bit of an experiment until you kind of hear something that you go, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So Korn, was it Monkey from Korn? I'm a huge Korn fan, and he said they used to have something called "Gotta Watch." So when they're in the studio and they were playing something, they knew it was right. The hairs used to come off of their skin, right? Goose pimples, and they used to look at their hands. And they used to call it "Gotta Watch" because it used to be like they're looking at their watch, but they're actually looking. Have you had that? You've had that before, you know that feeling.
Yeah, I totally know that. The first time I heard what Aaron had turned Better Days into, I was like, holy crap, like we might actually stand a chance of doing some really cool things here. So it's pretty wild.
Awesome.
I definitely know the feeling.
So I will put a link to the video down below, and some other stuff to do with where they can find you on Spotify and Apple Music and your bio and things like that. It's been really awesome chatting with you, and I hope that you enjoyed the chat. And for those that have watched, thank you for watching all the way through. And just for my students, because they always egg me on, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, fam. And
yeah, fam, get lit.
Oh, if I dab, I'm gonna get in so much trouble for my kids. I'll do it heaps.
Big yeet energy.
All right, thanks for checking in.
No,
we'll talk to you soon.
Much. Thank you so much. And just everyone, please take care of yourself. It's a really crappy time at the moment. It's totally okay to not be okay. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. Just be honest.
It's all good to be part of the not okays.
Yeah, come with us. Come through. Come be emo with us, fam.
Yo. Until next time, peace out.